Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training on this hot, steamy September day. We're here today with Nemesis and her trainer Fred. And what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and let go on her training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. She's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you'll be taught how to use that during your follow-up training session. Now, as you can see, Nemesis is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. The command is Nemesis heel, and at this point she has a job to do, and that is to stay even with your left leg when you're walking her, not dragging you down the street, and each time that you stop your feet, she has been taught to sit nicely and wait for her next command. And she's doing that beautifully. So this makes walking your dog a pleasure. You're not being pulled, you're not being dragged. I know you have a large property and you probably don't have to walk her very often, but when you do, she'll be well under control. Now the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. She's a very high-strung girl, and we do recommend, now she was going to lay down, and Fred told her no. When he does return back to her, he will walk all the way around her, ending up back at heel position. And like I started to say to you, the stationary exercises should be practiced in your home. They help to develop attention span and focus and maturity. And it's all of the things that she lacks. Most young sporting dogs do lack. So we recommend that you practice these right in your house. 1 to 3 minute sit stays are what you're going to work up to. This time, instead of returning back to her, Fred's going to call her, and this is the recall or the come on command. She's been taught to come right in front of you and sit facing your knees and then return back to heel, and that eliminates her jumping all over you. So if you notice, everything here is pretty low key. There's no yelling or hollering or getting her amped up, because she amps up all by herself. Fred's going to use her name and call her right in. Happy voice, back to heel, and a little bit of praise for a good job. And now we're going to demonstrate for you your down commands, and there are 2 of those. So with your dog seated at your left in the heel position, Fred's going to take the open flat of his palm and push it straight down toward the ground, and it's the one-word command to down, and then stay. And this is a great exercise for practicing in the house. While you're having dinner, while you're watching TV, your down stays are great for that developing attention span and focus and maturity. 3 to 5 minute long down stays you're going to work up to. When Fred returns back to her, he's going to walk all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay for an additional distraction, returning back to heel position, and she should remain lying there until she gets another command. He's going to bring her around, and he's going to demonstrate that down from a heel one more time. She will do it with just a hand signal too. And this time, instead of returning back to her, he's going to call her in. She comes in and sits very nicely and then goes back to heel position. Now, a Brittany is a Brittany, and you're never going to be able to change who she is. But what you're looking for is her to be more focused, more settled, more mature, more responsive, all of those things. Now this time we're going to demonstrate her down from a distance. So Fred's going to leave her in a sit stay, and always have your dog seated before you attempt to put them into a down. Then Fred's going to use his right hand to give the command, and that's a very relaxed down from a distance. Now we've demonstrated for you her heeling, her automatic sits, her stays, her down from a distance, and her come. These are the exercises that you're going to be practicing with her and improving upon when she goes home. We've enjoyed having her, and we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.